Everything a person says is just a projection of their own life circumstances. See, this is why I love having the brain that I have. You see, someone could be saying a lot of stuff, and I'll just pick out one or two words that they say, and bam, I know what situation they're in just because of how they're speaking, what they're saying. So this person says, I choose to stay on the key. I don't want them sending me random bills. They will put in a smart meter and then they have control over my power monitoring, whatever. But the part where they said random bills, at the end of the day, yeah, you live in a house or a flat, you need electric. So it doesn't matter whether you're on a key, it doesn't matter whether you pay your bills monthly or quarterly, you need to use that electric. So whatever you're using, you need to use it. So no bills should be random, because whether you're on an electric key or you pay bills, you're gonna have to foot that bill anyway. So why does it matter whether you're on a key or an electric bill? So this person's saying random bills. It's a random bill because your finances are not in order. Because I promise you, if you was a millionaire, if you was rich, if you had a lot of money coming in from random places, random sources and that, legal money obviously, there would be no such thing as random bills. Do you think Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk has random bills coming in? Unless obviously some idiot decides to fall over and hurt themselves in one of the Amazon warehouses or the flipping Tesla factories and that, then obviously, yeah. But when someone's saying, see, the word random means unprepared for. Like, even if man them are on the road, if they know their ops come around all the time, it ain't really random because they're prepared. But, you know, if one of the man them are out with his gal on a date in an area where they shouldn't see any pagans and that, yeah, that would be a random occurrence, yeah? So the word random means unprepared. And if you're unprepared for bills, it's more than likely because your finances are not in order. Now, obviously, there are certain situations where, let's say, for example, I've got one of my flats that I rented out or my house that's rented out or whatever, and the tenant runs up the gas sky high or runs up the electric sky high. Obviously, I'm not running a business, but you understand, I'm slightly running a business. You know, there's incoming money and then there's outgoing money in that. So obviously, there's a structure to it. Obviously, if I anticipate the electric bill to be £100 a month and one day it's 350, yeah, you done right, that's a fucking random bill. Because I'm not anticipating that with that business model, with that property and that. But in terms of my house, or my houses, because I'm kind of occupying two houses at the moment, there's no random bills. No, because it could never reach a level where it will be a random bill, i.e. £200 or £300 above what I'm anticipating paying. The only way that could happen is if I left the gas on full whack, just on constant, yeah? And I didn't know, and I went on holiday for 2-3 weeks, thinking that, I left the gas off, and it was winter as well, yeah? Because obviously, when it's winter, obviously the gas has to work harder in it. You see, this sort of person here, yeah? Talking about random electric bills, I don't think they have the gas on in their house. I don't think they sit in a warm house. I think they probably just every now and then just put the heating on to 18 degrees. Do you know there's people out here that they believe turning their heating on means turning their heating on to 18 degrees. Motherfucker, when I set the heating to 18 degrees, it means I've turned it off. Yeah, 18 is off to me, you know. When I'm in my yard, my heating's on at like 23, 25. I'm a tropical motherfucker out here, yeah? Yeah, I don't know how you people sit in a freezing cold yard. And like I've said, like I clocked over the last couple of years, the government been saying like, it's going to be the coldest winter yet. And I'm thinking, like, in like 2022, 23, 24, they're like, yeah, it's the coldest winter yet coming. And I'm thinking, like looking back on it, standing in 2025, looking back a few years, I'm thinking, I don't remember it being cold. I know why I didn't experience the cold weather. It's because I had my heating on. God forbid you sit in your house and it's freezing cold. Like, imagine, yeah, home is supposed to be a safe haven, a place of comfort. Imagine leaving work and coming home to a cold house and you're shivering. You're having to put on extra layers and that because you can't afford to turn your heating on. You can't afford to turn the boiler on and that. I've been to people's yards and the boiler is off. The fuse spur, the switch for the boiler, off. My switch for my boiler never goes off. The only time it will go off is maybe obviously doing some gas engineers coming to do some work or something like that. Or I need to, like sometimes the boiler starts acting up, you have to reset it and restart it. To be fair, actually, the property next door, my annual service is coming up, I need to get that sorted. But yeah, I'm not one of these stingy people with the bill. I've never got onto any of my tenants about keeping the heating on. I think the only time, I told the tenants, I had some Indian youths. They were actually from India, some exchange students that came over here. And they would have the heating on on 30 degrees. Yo, this is in the spring, In spring, they had the heating on at 30 degrees. I'd never have the heating on 30 degrees, man. I was like, yo, man, just turn it down to like 25. Man, what's the matter with you, innit? But yeah, man. When people talk about random bills and that, like, if bailiffs turn up to your house randomly and say, yeah, you owe them 10 grand, that's a random bill. But, if some company says, oh, yeah, you owe us an extra £5 for a water bill, that's not a random bill. Because you can handle, that sort of bill. You can handle extra £5. Some people can't handle extra £200-300. Listen, I don't even know how much my gas, water and electric bills are for my properties, I don't even know. I can kind of guess, but I don't even know. So, yeah, man, people, you lot just need to do better, man. If you feel like, I need to be on electric key meter and that because I can't afford, you need to start earning more money. These are basic things, gas, water, and electric. Basic. You're not even thriving in the basic necessities, man. Anyway, man, that's it for today, man. Stay a while, time now.